Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the City of Hazlet Special HCEDC Type B meeting on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. I opened the meeting up at actually 6:36. We do have a quorum present. Citizens' participation and comments. Do we have anyone online or in the chamber that would like to make a comment?
Yes, Ms. Sandra Smith.
Good evening, Mrs. Smith. Tell us your name and address, please.
Yes, ma'am. Sandra Smith, 300 Gamble Street. I'm here tonight to comment on the fact that TOASC has been brought in as your attorney, and just the chaos that has preceded all of this and the expense to the taxpayers and just the unprofessional behavior that I've witnessed. And I'm hoping that the representative from TOASC can maybe do some training with y'all on the Open Meetings Act. I'm not sure that all the members have been through that training or even understand what it means to speak outside of executive session, because I've personally had conversations that were outside of executive session where the participants told me they knew they were speaking outside of executive session. And so just a little bit about me. I've watched all the meetings or attended all the meetings, all the board meetings, council meetings, board meetings for at least 5 years, but probably closer to 10. And I do that because I've had a lot of chaos here in our town. There's been a lot of chaos with me personally, with my personal property, my home that I've lived in for 40 years, and just bizarre things that have gone on with me. And so I've made a New Year's resolution a little bit early. I'm gonna start revisiting things that are troubling to me that I see on these meetings, because I think it helps if it becomes public. And so I don't know how to pronounce your name, Slaughterhoff. But Ms. Slaughterhoff, there's been a lot of talk.
Slaughterhoff.
Slaughterhoff. I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly. In the last meeting, you know, there were some folks that resigned. There's been folks thrown off y'all's committee. There's just been bizarre goings on. And one of the things you said that I felt like needed follow-up was there was discussion on a project in the park coming up. $500,000 to the community park, $200,000 in Antsfield. And you said in that meeting that you could finally, this board could finally start doing what this board is meant to do. And that troubled me, because I don't think parks necessarily, it's not forbidden that you do it. I'm sure that's been checked out. But I really hope that that's not what you think this board is about, because we got a whole lot of tension on the parks. We've got a whole lot of stuff that goes on in that park. And me personally, I'm tired of dealing with what goes on in that park. I'm tired of the city throwing money at a park and then not doing what they need to do to secure the goings on at the parks. You know, our sheriff's department is stressed. You know, me personally, I don't think we have enough of those. And there's just, you know, we've had some homeless people just recently that had to be transported out of the park that were sleeping in the bathrooms. So as you go forward as an economic development board, thinking that's what your goal is, I'm not really sure that is, but, you know, I could be wrong. I'm just a citizen that watches it. But it troubled me. And as we go forward, you're going to hear about me circling back, because that's my New Year's resolution early. I'm going to circle back, and I'm going to address the people that I'm troubled by. And I was troubled by the park comment, that you think that's what the Economic Development Board is about. And I personally think there needs to be a lot more thought, a lot more consideration into the projects that are taken up, especially in the park. So I hope, for y'all's sake and for everybody who participates and the attorney here that's coming back into a situation they've been in before. We've had a long relationship with TOASC. And I hope it goes better in the new year for everyone involved. But me personally, I expect more professionalism than I've seen, and I'm going to call you on it. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Do we have anyone online that would like to make any comments?
None at this time.
Okay, item number 3.1, discuss, consider, and act to accept a resignation from Brown and Hoffmeister LLP law firm. I would like to read a statement that our previous lawyer, Mr. Jeremy Page, sent to all the board members, and that was on October 23rd, 2025. Good evening, HCEDC Board Directors. Please allow this email to serve as my letter of resignation as the attorney of the Hazlet Community and Economic Development Corporation. In consultation with the Hazlet City Council, we have determined that a new path is needed for the HCEDC as it relates to legal representation. Per the wishes of the City Council, my firm's resignation will be effective as of the date the HCEDC Board elects to appoint new counsel, presumably at its next board meeting, so as to avoid any interruption of legal representation. On behalf of Brown and Hoffmeister, it has been our pleasure to serve the HCEDC, and please do not hesitate to reach out should you have any questions for me or need any further legal assistance between now and the next HCEDC meeting. So, Board, that's why we have called this special meeting, to make a motion and a vote to accept the resignation of Mr. Jeremy Page. I'll open it up for any questions, any comments, any concerns. And if there are none, then I will ask for a motion.
I would just like to say that one of the reasons that, or the main reason that we are parting ways is that we felt that there was a conflict of interest by having Mr. Page serve as both the city attorney and the board attorney. And so I would like to make a motion that we accept the resignation from Brown and Hoffmeister LLP law firm.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll call for the board's vote. All those in favor? It's unanimous with 4 votes. Thank you, Board. Okay, item 3.2, discuss, consider, and act to contract with Taylor Olson Adkins Sarah and Elam LLP for legal services. I'd like to introduce Miss Elizabeth Elverton. Thank you. Yes, as a potential consideration for our new legal representation. Ms. Elverton, would you like to make any comments before we proceed?
Just briefly.
Okay.
Thank you for having, oh. Yes, yes. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you all for having me here tonight. I am with Taylor Olson, or TOS is the easier way to say it. I'm very excited about the ability for our firm to come back to Hazlet after a short break of a couple of years. As Ms. Wirtz indicated, I will be the primary firm contact for the EDC, but you will have the whole firm at your disposal should you need any additional assistance. I have been with the firm for 3.5 years. I primarily focus on economic development, eminent domain, and election law. I've been doing it since I started with the firm. You'll also have Mr. Rob Alabon, who previously has served as the city attorney. He'll be the partner for the EDC should you need any partner assistance, but I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to be here, and thank you guys for bringing us out for consideration.
Okay, thank you so much. One of the things I also wanted to say is I do have the letter of engagement from Toast in front of all the board members, and I wanted to make it be known that the services for this contract is just slightly above what our previous contract was with Brown and Hoffmaster, but it's a 10% increase in our hourly cost. But that increase is justifiable because the contract that we had signed with Mr. Brown and Hoffmeister was 2 years ago in February of 2024. And this current contract is today's period time. So a 5% escalation year over year does not seem out of the ordinary or out of line with what our legal services are. I think also we did increase our budget amount this past year for legal services, so I don't see any problems in this amount going forward. So I'll open it up to the board for any other questions or comments.
I'd just like to make a comment so that everyone understands. There's only a charge if we seek the services of the council. There is no standard fee per month or anything of that nature, is my understanding. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And previously, before I joined the board, I don't think there was legal guidance, and because of the real estate dealings, real estate properties that we sold, then it was suggested to us that we needed to have all that reviewed by legal representation. So I think that's initially how all that it came to fruition here. So I understand that if we have no need for any questions or anything, then there would not be a charge. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
I have a question. Is there an exit clause, or what is the term we have to give if we were to like exercise an option to exit this particular agreement?
We serve at the pleasure of the EDC. So should the EDC determine that they no longer wish to utilize our services, there's no notice. It just would need to be, like you did tonight, by a vote of majority of the board.
And are there no penalties? I assume there are no penalties or fees associated with an exit. I'm not suggesting an exit. I just want to understand the full sort of picture.
No, of course you would be invoiced for any outstanding amounts you had to the firm, but there's not any penalty fee for you terminating our services. We serve at the EDC's pleasure. Okay,
thank you.
Okay, any other questions of Miss Elizabeth Elverton? I'll get better at that, I'm sorry.
Actually, I do have one more question. Is there an annual escalation baked into the rate, or how does that work?
So our partners evaluate our rates every year. This has been our standard rate since I've been with the firm. Just depends on the economy and certain factors, but there's not an annual escalation. There's not a guaranteed amount. It would go up. They typically do not change. Of course, I can't guarantee that, but this has been our standard discounted rate since I've been with the firm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and just one other question. Could you just give us your kind of legal background? In other words, how many years have you been in this line of leadership?
Absolutely. So I graduated from SMU's Dedman School of Law in 2022. I have been with the firm since I graduated. They were kind enough to hire me on before I passed the bar, so I was able to hit the ground running. I passed the bar and was able to jump right in. I've been with the firm ever since. Right now I serve as the city attorney for 4 of our firm's other clients, 1 home rule municipality, all others are Type A general law like the city of Hazlet. I have served for EDCs for a variety of our clients. The most recent has been Alvarado's EDC, assisted with economic development agreements for many of our clients. It's a pretty large portion of my practice outside of my general municipal work.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, are there any other questions? Anyone has? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with hiring TOS to represent the EDC.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? It's unanimous with 4 votes. Okay, there's no reason to go into executive session tonight, so I'll move on to item number 6, future agenda items. I'll open that up to the board for suggestions.
Let's see, I think we made a list at our last meeting. Is that still going to carry forward, or do we need to?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and say it all. If you want me, I'll read off my listing or let anyone else jump in. We had several questions about the treasurer position of our board. We were asked to nominate a treasurer, and that was news to us because we've never had a treasurer position before. So we're gathering some information from the city about that particular office, and maybe we'll have some information to share with the rest of the board coming forward. But that's an agenda item to be looked at. We also were in the process of making a new agenda process procedure, and we may ask our new lawyer to just look over the draft of that. It has not come up for vote yet, but it probably will in the next 3 months down the road. We also have some new members that we hope to place on the board, and that will be an item that will be looked at. We have currently 3 resolutions in process, and we're awaiting approval from City Council on those resolutions to see if we can move forward with that. So those 3 might be on the board. And then we have a lot of new board members, so somewhere down the road, a month or so after all members have done their mandatory training for the Open Meetings Act and for the public records training, we would like to maybe do some more extensive board training with our new law firm so that we are handling all issues appropriately and correctly. So that will be something coming up also. I don't know if that's going to go on the next board meeting, but it'll depend on making sure everybody does their own personal training first so that we can make sure that the training that we are receiving after that can even be a higher level and more in-depth for all members. That's my list. Does anyone else have anything else?
I'd like to add again our request for the city to make the board members their city emails. And if someone could speak to that at our next meeting on the 19th.
Any other items?
I'm wondering if it might be a good idea to add recounting the bylaws so that maybe the public will know what the bylaws and the goals are for this committee.
Yes. Matter of fact, we may ask our new legal representation to help us with the summary of what the function of this board is so that it's clear to the community. Anything else? Okay, if not, then I will close this open meeting at 6:56. We will adjourn. Thank you.